Earlier today, just a few hours ago, I commented on the fact that President Obama took the unfortunate step of designating a national monument, about 1.4 million acres in size, in the San Juan County area of Utah. This notwithstanding the fact that all the elected officials from that part of the state, in fact, every single member of Utah's congressional delegation, along with every statewide elected official in Utah, happens to oppose this action. Now, I remember 20 years ago when President Clinton took a similar action, designating the Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument. He took a lot of criticism, justifiably, for the fact that he didn't come to the state of Utah in order to designate this monument. He instead went to the neighboring state of Arizona, where he announced this from the safe perch that he assumed along the ridge of the Grand Canyon. I didn't think that you could have any political debacle that would be worse than that one. In fact, a lot of people assumed that that would be about as bad as it could get in declaring national monuments. Well, it got worse today. You see, President Obama did this, not just from Arizona. He did this from thousands of miles away. There are a couple of different accounts. Some say he did it from Hawaii. Others say that he was in Japan. Whether he was in Hawaii or in Japan, he was many thousands of miles away from the state of Utah. And it shows how out of touch he is with Utah, with Utahns, especially with those Utahns who will be most intimately connected with this land, who will be most directly affected by this designation. Here's something else that might cause you to have some concern about this. Look at the picture, and I have to thank for this Jason Chaffetz, who caught the error. Congressman Jason Chaffetz pointed out that in his tweet announcing what he was doing, President Obama put up this picture explaining why he wanted to protect the Bears Ears area. Notice the picture he used. That's not the Bears Ears area. I was down there just a few months ago. I hiked to the top of that. That's not what that is. This picture that he used is Arches National Park. Now, Mr. President Obama, there's a big difference between Arches National Park on the one hand and the Bears Ears area on the other hand. A huge difference. Do you know what the biggest difference is? Well, Arches National Park, being a national park, was created as a national park by an act of Congress. You can't, as a practical matter, create a national park in any state where the host state's congressional delegation, especially when accompanied by the governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, and every other statewide elected official, happens to be in opposition to that. That, my friends, is exactly why President Obama chose not to go after this by designating a national park, by asking Congress to create a national park. He knew Congress wouldn't do that because Utah's congressional delegation unanimously opposes it, along with its governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, and auditor and treasurer. Not to mention every state legislator representing that part of the state, and all three members of the San Juan County Commission. So we should be particularly disturbed by the fact that the same people who made this decision, the same people who decided to declare this national monument, apparently don't know the difference between the Bears Ears area on the one hand and Arches National Park on the other hand. Either that or they do know the difference, and they're all too willing to deceive the American people. I don't know which it is. I don't purport to put thoughts into their head. As far as I know, this was the product of ignorance rather than deliberate deceitfulness. Either way, it's very concerning. Either way, the American people ought to be worried about this. And I don't care whether you live in San Juan County or elsewhere in the state of Utah, or for that matter, whether you live in Utah or in some other part of the country. You should be concerned about this. You should be worried about the fact that we put this much power in the hands of one person, the President of the United States. This is not the American way. We can do better. It's time, my fellow Americans, to expect more. It's time to expect freedom. It's time to expect a government that operates within constitutional constraints and that doesn't allow our government to function as an entity of one.